Okay, Cheryl, we'll give a start now. Yes.
Okay. Maybe everyone can mute yourselves so that we don't have any disturbances during the chanting session later. But good evening. My name is Cheryl. Good evening, Dhamma friends in the OPRC online Pali reading class, and everyone joining from around the world through Patisota social media channels. Happy Vesak season to all. So this class has been learning Pali Suttas and the Dhammapada with understanding for 81 sessions since 2023. So the purpose was not to teach Pali grammar, but to explore the literal and contextual meaning of the Buddha's original text under Bhante's guidance. Thank you so much, Bhante, for leading this class continuously every Thursday for almost 2 years. So may I invite Bhante Dr. Chandima, the teacher and founder of Patisota, to give his welcome speech and share some announcements. Bhante, please.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. And this time we usually get together for our regular class, our Dhammapada class. And it has been almost 81 days that we have been spending. I never actually got to hear from my students and how they processing what I teach. What I hear is that, what I see is that they come and then they recite, and then, okay, I just correct if there are mistakes, and they listen to me, and then they go. Last year, in light of Vesak, I don't know how many of you remember, I conducted a Q&A session. In that Q&A session, I got questions up front, and then I engage in that Q&A session. So I was thinking, okay, this is the usual process. Why don't we give it to you and then make it a happy learning environment, I mean, from everybody, and invite some other guests and to know what's going on. So that's why I know that there are only a few days that we, started all this. And I know that some of you go through certain tech problems. Sorry to hear that. I know that sometimes these things are not very easy for you to adjust very fast. But I hope you learned something now. For future events, you know what to do, right? Sometimes challenges come, and then these challenges help you to learn something. So whenever you go for a new event next time, you know how to make it very fast and then do it. Something new. They are not actually new. They were there for a long time. But I think the thing is that we are not using that much. So sorry to hear that, but I hope that things have been really working at this point. And without taking lots of time, let me give you an announcement. Okay, so as I previously announced, everyone will be taking 3 minutes. The order will be the order you saw in the group about the 23 participants. And at the end of presentations, I will be announcing about the group, the chanting group name, Chants Fire group, and some other necessary announcements. So now, I think without taking lots of time, I'll be giving back this audience to Sharon to invite our students to show their humble, I couldn't say talents, perhaps their progress in their learning, Pali learning at the same time, their Dhamma. Sharon, please, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Bhante. So I will be calling on the first student presenter, Ong Kiet Bin, Dhammapada verse 21 to 22.
Where is sister?
Thank you, Bhante. Good evening, Bhante.
Yeah, can you raise your hand, virtual hand, so I can know?
Oh, virtual hand.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yes.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah, no, okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Before everything, we haven't done our homage to the Buddha. It's for the Vesak, so we're gonna do that. So we will do that first, and then we will be asking Mr. Ong to do it. So may all these preparations that we are doing, our Dhamma learning, our sharing, our presentations, be a true respect to the Buddha, for his enlightenment and his service for 45 years, and more than that for a number of incalculable lifetimes for going through a lot of hardship challenges in fulfilling paramita perfections. For that, we're going to say homage. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, now we'll be asking Sister Ong to continue. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Good evening, Bhante, Miss Cheryl, and all fellow classmates. Thank you for the opportunity for the recitation. And today my recitation will be Dhammapada 21 and 22 on diligence. I will recite Dhammapada 21 in Pali and then say in English. And then after the two verses, then only I'll explain in English. So I'll start with Dhammapada 21. Apamado amata padang. Pamado machuno padang. Apamata ne miyati ye pamata yata mata. In English, diligence is the path to deathless. Negligence is the path to death. To diligent, do not die. The negligent is as if already dead. Dhammapada 22. Etang vise sato nyatwa. Apamadamhi pandita. Apamade pamodanti. Ariyanang pochare rata. Knowing this distinction, in diligence, sages delight in diligence in the field of the noble ones. These two verses of Dhammapada 21 and 22 emphasizes the importance of striving with right effort, right mindfulness, and vigilance in the practice of the Dhamma and in the pursuit of the enlightenment. In this Vesak celebration, I will continue to strive diligently and improve on my mind, speech, and actions, practicing moment to moment daily, as all conditioned things subject to change. With utmost gratitude to Bhante for his wonderful OPRC and Sutta classes, Bhante has explained each stanzas and suttas clearly, which allows me to understand better and deeper the true Dhamma and to practice more correctly. I'll be mindful in the mind and the bodily processes, and to learn to see the nature of the causes and condition with right attitude, awareness, and consistency. Wishing Bhante and Dhamma friends happy Vesak, Sabe Sata, Bhavantu Sukhitata. Thank you.
Sadhu, Sister Ong. Next up, we'll have Sister Susie.
Thank you, Sister Cheryl. Good evening, Bhante, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. The Dhammapada verse that I am sharing is verse 183 in chapter 14, the Buddha Vagga. The verse is not to do any evil, to cultivate good, to purify one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. In Pali, Sabba papasa akaranang kusalasa upasampada satchita pariyodapanang buddhana sasanang. Right. To abstain from all evil emphasizes the importance of avoiding actions that cause harm or suffering to oneself and others. To cultivate good refers to the importance of developing positive qualities such as kindness, compassion, wisdom, and mindfulness. To purify one's mind emphasizes the importance of cultivating a peaceful an undistracted mind through meditation and other practices. This stanza reminds me of the importance of avoiding harmful actions, cultivating positive qualities, and to dwell in a pure and peaceful mind every day, and especially during this Vesak celebration. I'm very glad that I have joined Bhante's online Pali reading class. Not only that I get to learn to recite in Pali, I also learned in detail the Dhammapada verses, and with Bhante's sharings of related suttas, makes reading the suttas more meaningful. Last but not least, more significant for me is Bhante's teachings, which relate to everyday life issues that make me see the applicability of the Buddha's teachings as a way of life towards our emancipation. Happy Vesak, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Sister Suzanne Smart next.
Good evening, Bhante, guests, and all Dhamma friends. It is a pleasure to be with you sharing the Buddha's wisdom. This stanza is about not just saying and learning the Dharma, but doing. It is about not incorporating what we have learned in our daily lives, and by not doing so, we are a scentless flower, incomplete. Yata pi ruchiram pupam, vanyavantam magandhakam, evam suphasitavacha, apala hoti akubato. Dharma sharing and learning, but not carrying out that knowledge into our practice. That knowledge is fruitless and lost. Practicing Dharma teachings in our daily lives is the most true way to flourish and grow our Dharma journey. Firstly, you study, learn, and understand. Then you practice and grow. Looking deeply, you understand more. This will lead to experience the essence of your life and the joy and happiness that the Buddha gifted to us through the Dharma and the Noble Eightfold Path. While I am inspired by all the Dharma stanzas, I feel that this one is a very important message to all Buddha devotees. Like if you're in your life, you do not move on, improve, or succeed if you do not apply yourself to your goals. So therefore, may we all practice more Dharma. This online Pali reading class is such a benefit to my Buddhist practice in a way so huge. My knowledge of the Dharma was very limited, but this wonderful class has given me enthusiasm and skill to not only read the teachings as it truly began, but also to see more deeply into the meaning of the Noble Eightfold Path. Having a much clearer understanding after each class, this has improved my meditation and further inspired my studies. I am thrilled each class to learn more, and this coming together every week feels beautiful and true. Thank you, dearest Bhante, guests, Dharma friends. Namo Buddhaya.
Sadhu. Next up, we have Lo Bi Ling.
Can I start now? Hello?
Yes, please. Please go ahead. We can hear
Because I
and
didn't
see
hear
you.
you calling me. So good evening, Bhante, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today I'm going to share the interesting Dhammapada stanza, number 42. I just chant the Pali first. Diso disang yantang kaira, veriva pana verinang, micha pani hitang chitang, papiyo nang tato kare. In English, it means whatever an enemy may do to an enemy or a hater to a hater, from one's own wrongly directed mind is far worse is the harm. This stanza showing to us that it is very important to take care of our thought, our thinking mind. Because if you have a mithya, a wrong view or ill-directed view, then it will do far more harm than the enemy to an enemy or a hater to a hater. So I will apply this during this Vesak and hope all brothers, sisters, remember to take care of the thought. By understand your thought, you will definitely will do all the good things and you were able to overcome all the akusala or unskillful activities. And lastly, I would like to thank Bhante for his effort and the detailed, clear explanation on whether the Sutta class or the Pali class. Here is a Pali class. So it had deepened my Dhamma knowledge to even higher level. Sadhu to Bhante. May you live long and guide us. And everyone, happy Vesak. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Next, we will have Tan B. Tuan.
Good evening, Bhante, and all in the Kalyanitas in the path. The Dhammapada verse I've selected is Dhammapada 50. I'll read it I'll chant it in Pali first. Na paresang vilomani, na paresang kata kata, atanova avekriya, katani akatani cha. In English, it means do not dwell on the faults of others, nor on what they have or haven't done. Instead, reflect on your own actions, both those we have and haven't performed. The verse focuses on teaching us not to be concerned with the fault of others, but concern ourselves with ourselves, as in our actions. What we have done with the good things and what we have not done. A case of pleasing ourselves and not others. One Dharma teaching from this verse is that it helps us reflect and live meaningfully during Vesak and beyond. For Vesak, I will reflect on the things I have to do for myself, my Dharma journey, and how to assist my family in the Dharma journey as well. Before OPRC, I was very keen on learning chanting. OPRC gave me a chance to learn the Dharma in a structured and guided manner, which actually is a bonus for me. I had not thought of learning Dharma yet on my own because I thought it is really difficult going, heavy. But Bhante has shown that it is so practical, so fun and easy to learn, and quite often has left me laughing in front of the screen. That has made me want to attend class always. And therefore, I not only can chant better now in Pali, but I'm also on my Dharma journey. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you who has made this possible.
Sadhu. Next, we will have Annie Yin.
Sadhu Bhante, Sukhi Hotu to the distinguished guests.
Sadhu Bhante, thank you, Sister. Sukhi Hotu to the distinguished guests and fellow classmates. I'm sharing the Dhammapada verse 1. Mano Pubangama Dhamma, Mano Setta Mano Maya, manassa cha padutena basativa karotiva tato nang dukhamang veti chakam va vahato padang. Essentially, this verse 1 highlights the importance of cultivating a mindful mind to create a positively fulfilling life. And my favorite sentence here is basati, speak, karoti, act or do. A simple word or action is a result of the thought of the mind, which would bring a consequence of good karma or bad karma. Hence, it's imperative to cultivate mindfulness and understand the mind. So if one speaks or acts with an evil mind, dukkha follows, akusala karma follows, like the wheels of a cart follows the hoofprints of an ox. A vicious cycle in motion of what goes around comes around, not only in this lifetime, but lifetime after lifetime. So in order to leash or train the mind to be in its best behavior, is to practice meditation and precepts and the Buddha's teachings. So on the holy day of Vesak, it's a great day to reflect on the qualities of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, put into practice loving kindness, compassion, and dana. Such kusala activities would fill one with positive aura, calmness, and joy to the heart and mind. This cannot be just an annual event. You have to cultivate this and incorporate into our daily life. This is what I have to remind myself all the time, so that what starts as a practice or a training would eventually be a natural part of you. So Bhante, Terawan Sarana, and thank you so much, Mahasadu, for your effort in sharing and guiding us in the Dhamma path in a simplistic and applicable manner. Sabbapasa akaranang kusalasa upasampada sacita pariyodapanang etang budana sastana. Avoid evil, do good, purify one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Sadhu Bhante, thank you for the opportunity.
Sadhu Annie. Next up we have Cheong Yok Hong.
Tuki Huntu, Bhante, distinguished guests, and all Dhamma friends. I'm chanting Dhammapada verse 2. Mano pubang gama Dhamma, mano seta mano maya, manassacha pasannena, basativa karotiva, tato nam sukha manvete, chayava anapayini. All experience is preceded by mind, led by mind, made by mind. Speak or act with a pure, peaceful mind, and happiness follows, like a never-departing shadow. With deep gratitude and big thank you, Bhante Dr. Chandima, who has made the Dhamma clear to us via OPRC and TRV Sutta class. Having a temporary custody of my 9-year-old grandson, who is arrogant with a compulsive behavior on computer games. So I'm very fortunate that I have joined Bhante TRV class, Sutta class. So then I learned that the KC Sutta is indeed a workable remedy. Simultaneously, maintain the quality of my mind continuously all day with awareness on the 3 bodily actions through thoughts, speech, and actions. 1. Right conduct with mind. Thoughts of loving kindness, not be angry with my grandson, having right view that there is karma and vipaka of giving, helping, and looking after him. 2. Right conduct with words. Truthful, gentle, pleasant, beneficial, and timely. A role model, exemplary for him. 3. Right conduct with body. Compassionate and caring towards his well-being. During Vesak and beyond, I shall take every opportunity to change, to become a better person, train and free my mind by breaking mental habits that have unpleasant results and to develop those with pleasant results, So, my dear Dhamma friends, let us think, speak, and act with a pure, peaceful mind, and let happiness follow us like our never departing shadow. Namo Buddhaya. And happy Vesak to all. Thank you.
Satu. Na Ying Ching next.
Good evening, Bhante. Good evening, friends. Today, I'm reciting the verse, Dhammapada 54. Ne pupagando pativata meti ne chandana padara malikava satang cegando pativata meti sabandisa sapuriso pavati. The meaning of this verse is that scent of flowers, woods, and roots travel only with the wind, not against it. But a good person's reputation, someone who follows the Triple Gem, observes the 5 precepts, and practices generosity, spreads everywhere. This is something that inspires me because of the simplicity of sense where we are always facing every day in the nature. So OPRC has been beneficial in deepening my understanding of the Dhamma and familiarizing myself with Pali language. It's a language that was spoken during the Buddha's time, 2,500 plus years ago. That makes it more interesting and more meaningful. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you, everyone.
Satu. Next up, we have Katie Chong.
Good evening, everyone. I will recite the verses of 45 from the Pupawata, which is the second from the Pupawata. So I will recite in Pali first. Sekho patavi che sati yamalokam cha imam sa devakam sekho dhamma tadam sute sitam Kusalo Pupa Uva Pache Sati. So these verses actually is explained a disciple, which is referred to the Sekho, is well investigated the earth and the Yama world with its deity. And the second phrases of this also refer to a disciple will understand this well-taught the Dhamma verses as a skillful person who pick the flowers. So I choose these verses because it's a very good reminder for myself and everyone to practicing the Dhamma, that what I've been learning from the Sutta study or the Pali reading from time to time as a self-reflecting in order to go beyond the shore, following the Buddha teaching through the Four Noble Truths and the guideline to the 3 existence of the impermanence, unstatification, and the non-self, so that it's always with a clear and a blameless point of view from day to day, time to time. It's not only during the restart day. So this is a very good reminder for myself so that I can keep this practice not only during the restart or during the Pali reading or attend the workshop, but it is a disciple, which is the Sekho, who practice the Dhamma from the Buddha teaching from time to time and understand it so that we can take it as a personal practice. Wishing everyone restart.
Satu. So next we will have Ong Pui Liu.
Vandami Bhante, and good evening to special guest, Miss Cheryl, and my Dhamma friends. So the verse that I've chosen is 58, and Bhante, since Bhante said to chant, I'm one of those who refrain from reading, but now have to chant. Anyway, I'll try. Yata Sankara Danasmin Ujitasmin Mahapate Padumang Tatta Jayeta Suci Gandang Manoramang. Actually, this verse is such a beautiful verse. especially for the simile of the lotus, which is equated with the mud. So just as from a heap of rubbish or garbage or things that are useless, we thought, thrown upon the highway or by the roadside, a lovely, sweet-smelling lotus may grow. Any other flowers may grow or may bloom from it. So usually we will judge a book by its cover and say that, this person is useless or whatever, so it's unfavorable. So if we sort of liken it to our living conditions, our family environment or friends or neighborhood, our environment, and we think that we are so unfortunate, we are always suffering. But the Buddha gave this beautiful simile. If we look into a lotus pond or a lotus pot, the lotus will have mud as its soil, its fertile ground. So even though the lotus is from the mud, as of a heap of rubbish or garbage, but the lotus could sprout and could grow beautifully, unmuddied, unmuddled, unsoiled by the mud. Instead, it uses the mud as its resource, as its fertile ground to grow beautifully. So this one Dhamma teaching that I learned from this verse, actually I love all the verses in the Dhammapada. And to reflect on this Vesak and beyond is to remind me that I'm so grateful to the Buddha for giving all these beautiful similes and analogies and metaphors that he himself could rise from the mud and like a lotus shining. And for this, I would like to share that my mother, since it is going to be Mother's Day, I would like to pay homage to my mother because she, for one, is a living example of this simile, that one could rise from the mud. My mother had a very difficult childhood, lived through the Japanese occupation, unschooled, uneducated, married at the age of 16, actually 15 for the English age, and had many children, but she's 91 this year. So she could rise from the mud. And that's my gratitude to my mom, that for the last 6 years, I could be with her since my retirement. So that's how I sort of reflected on this lotus as the mud. And whatever conditions we are in, have been and will be, let us take solace in this story of the mud, of the lotus. That my house has many lotus ponds. Lotus pond is one, but lotus pots many, because I really love lotuses, because it reminds me of Buddha and my mother. And this OPRC class, actually, I really love the class. And Bhante Chandima, if I have the chance, I would invite Bhante Chandima to BMSN in Kajang. But now I'm in Malacca, so as Bhante knows. And actually, when the OPRC started, especially for Dhammapada, I actually did a table. After each class, I will write down all the notes that I've taken from Bhante's class. But up until my cataract operation, I haven't done so, but I will go back. So Bhante, like I said, you're like Bhante Punaji. You could dissect, analyze a Pali term and put it in so simple terms, so down to earth, that actually the meaning is so clearly crops, like what Sister Annie and all my fellow friends have said. So Bhante, being in this class and being in this online class is like a savior, post-COVID. So I'd like to thank you so much for all the teachings that you have given us, unsolicited, but you gave us nevertheless, and with all your heart. So with all our heart, we express our gratefulness to you and, appreciation. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Bhante. Thank you for listening.
To Sister Pui Liu. Next, we will have Ui Gui Hua.
Good evening, Bhante, and all distinguished guests and Dhamma brothers and sisters. In conjunction with the Vesak, around about a few days later, we are going to celebrate the Vesak Day. So I choose these verses Udana Watu, the Paeans of Joy, Dhammapada verse 153 and 154. These verses were uttered by the Buddha upon attaining enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Uruvela on the full moon day of Visakha. These two verses should be chanted together, but due to time constraint, I will only chant Dhammapada verse 153. Aneka jati samsarang sandavisam anibisang gahakarang gavesanto dukkha jati punapunang. The English translation for this is, through many births in samsara or existence have I wandered, seeking but not finding the builder, the craving of this house, this body. Sorrowful is repeated birth. My reflections on this Dhamma teaching is that countless birth is an exhausting nature of samsaric cycles. Through ignorance and not understanding the true nature of suffering, that's the root cause of suffering, that we continue to be reborn in samsara. This repetitive nature of birth and death indeed itself is suffering, dukkha. Reflection during Vesak, in my innumerable rebirths, I might not always be so lucky to be reborn as a human. So I should reflect on the precious opportunity I have obtained through human birth. It reminds me that I should not waste this rare opportunity, but use it wisely for spiritual development and practice of the Dhamma without procrastinating. Beyond Vesak and daily practice, I should start daily practice with gratitude for this rare opportunity as human. First, begin with basic, that is, to be a real virtuous Buddhist and not a Buddhist by name. Taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Observing minimum 5 precepts, or practice the Ajiva Attamaka Sila, which refers to the 8 precepts with right livelihood as the 8th. It is also called Nicca Sila, permanent or lifelong Sila, that can be practiced by lay people in their daily life. I once undertake to observe the precept to abstain from destroying living beings, taking things not given, sexual misconduct, false speech, slandering speech, harsh speech, frivolous talk, and wrong livelihood, micca ajiva. By practicing the abstinences of the above, we cultivate samavacha, right speech, samakamanta, right actions, sama ajiva, right livelihood of the Noble Eightfold Path. Joining OPRC class has benefited me in several ways. With respect and gratitude, I would like to thank Bhante Chandima of Patisota for his relentless effort and guidance in correcting my Pali pronunciation and explaining the profound content of the Dhammapada verses. Now I have a better understanding of the implicit meaning of the verses. Thank you very much, Bhante. Vandami Bhante. May your noble wishes of attaining the ultimate bliss of Nibbana be fulfilled in this very life. Thank you, Bhante and Dhamma friends. Happy Vesak. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, and thank you, Sister Gui Hua. Now we will have Sister Melinda Chan.
Okay, thank you so much. Namo Buddhaya, Bhante, distinguished guests, and everyone. The Dhammapada verses which I choose is number 24. It's Appamada diligence. I will just read the verses because I'm not good in chanting. Uta na vato sati mato Suci kammasa nisa makarino, sanya tatsa cha dhamma chivino, appamatasa yaso vivadati. The English translation is energetic and mindful, pure and considerate in action, restrained and who lives according to the Dhamma. Religion, glory glows for a person who is. This verse is about how to become a person with good reputation. Glory glows for one who is energetic, mindful, good conduct, considerate, self-restrained, who lives according to the Dhamma. This verse has taught us to be more mindful and considerate in our daily action, to avoid creating akusala or unwholesome deeds, especially to prevent hurting people in our speech or action. I'm more aware of my thought nowadays and be able to live more meaningfully from this Vesak day and beyond. This Pali reading class has been a deeply enriching journey for me. I'm so grateful to Bhante for his kindness and patience to teach and guide me all this while for my better understanding of the language of the Buddha, and also the contextual meanings, and most of all, the correct pronunciation of the Pali words. This has made me more confident to volunteer to read in most of the online classes. Thank you so much, Bhante, for your great effort and teaching. May you be well and happy always. Happy Vesak, everyone. Thank you.
Satu. Next up, we have Eng Yen.
Good evening, Bhante, and good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm going to share Dhammapada verse 57. Te sam sampana silanam appamada viharinam sammadana vimutanam maro magamna vindati. In English, of those endowed with virtue, living with vigilance, and freed by right understanding, Mara does not find the path. So the meaning is of those who are perfect in behavior, living constantly alert, fully aware of the experience within. Mara, the evil one, does not know their destiny. Mara can trace only the slothful death. He cannot trace those who have reached the deathless. So the teaching that reminds me, this verse reminds me of to be vigilant and have right understanding. So it reminds me that practicing the teaching of Buddha, which includes 5 precepts and the wholesome actions, is not enough, but have to practice it mindfully and be constantly alert, and also to have right understanding, to understand why are we doing so. And by joining this OPRC class, I think it's I get to learn teaching of Buddha and the saying through the approach that's easier to understand, and also in a way that we can easily relate to our lives as a lay person. So I would like to thank Bhante for his dedication in teaching, sharing the teaching. So wishing everyone happy Vesak. Satu.
Satu. We will have Ko Po Kim next. Do we have Ko Po Kim?
Can you unmute your mic, please?
Okay, I have unmuted. Yeah.
Maybe Pogim, you can raise your virtual hand so that we can spotlight you.
Cheryl, she's here. I think she has a.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I'm so sorry. I think maybe nervous.
Don't worry.
Okay. Today hello, Bhante brothers and sisters. I would like to share the Appamada Dhammapada 55. I will do a chant instead of reading. Chandanang Tangaram Vapi Upalang Attavasiki Ete Sanganda Jatanang Sila Gando Anutaro. Okay, basically, this Dhammapada, it's about fragrance. So, and as we all have the body, the 32 parts, it's we have to keep ourselves clean. And we like to, why I choose this topic is because I like nice fragrance. So, but even though with nice fragrance, it can be sandalwood, rosemary, jasmine. But among all these fragrances, the best and the sweetest fragrance is actually your virtue. Like the Buddha says, we must practice good virtues, good practice, and we must also have Brahma Vihara, which is good moral, metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. So therefore, I am very grateful to the Buddha teachings. It's not just smelling good, but you have to be good and have the good quality as a person. And I'm actually very grateful to join the Pali class because I start from zero knowledge. I have no knowledge at all about Dhamma teachings and all that. And also I bravely take the challenge to learn and practice Pali. Although I know I'm not very good, but I'm trying my best. That's why just now I had nervous breakdown and I lost my screen. But nonetheless, I would actually, from my sincere heart, I'm very grateful to Bhante, who has given me all the guidance, how to be good, be well, be happy, and also all the Dhamma teachings. And I actually joined his class for Pali as well as Sutta. Although sometimes I'm a bit lost, but I still try to stay on and try to understand what he's trying to teach us. So for Vesak Day is coming, so we will. I wish everyone a happy Vesak. And Bhante, thank you for all your guidance, and I'm very happy to be in your classes. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Kim. Satu. Next up, we have Chong Pak Lan.
Good evening, Bhante, guests and fellow Dhamma sisters and brothers in this OPRC group. Today, I'm going to read Dhammapada verse 43. Can't chant, but I will just read, okay? Natam mata pita aneva picha nataka sama pani hitam chitam seyaso nam tato kare. This stanza I think it is talking about our mind. Buddha said that in the first stanza of Dhammapada that mind is the forerunner of everything. One has to have own well-directed thoughts at all times. This is a self-practice. No one else can help us, even the closest parents and relatives. Kusala thoughts create kusala activities. That means samadhi, right view, need to be practiced at all times during daily life. We need to avoid negative and unwholesome thoughts. We need to control our sensual pleasures. Overindulgence will lead to unhappiness. Any thoughts about ill will and about cruelty will make us feel uncomfortable and unhappy. Always bear in mind to practice the 5 precepts in our daily life, not during and after Vesak and many more years to come. We have to develop wisdom to differentiate right from wrong and guard our speech. Extend metta to all beings. I joined Bhante's OPRC class for quite some time now, and I actually look forward to the class each week. Thank you, Bhante, for sharing your knowledge and explain the Dhammapada verses in the most comprehensive way. I also like the stories that you tell each week, and that makes the study very interesting. Bhante, may you be well and happy. Namo Buddhaya and happy Vesak to all. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. We will have Mei Lin next.
Tukiotu. Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening, Bhante, all brothers and sisters in the OPRC. Today I will be sharing on Dhammapada 46 on flowers, pupa. Penu pamang, kaya mimang viditwa, marici damang abi sambudano, cetwana marasa papu pa kani, ada sanang macura jasa kace. In English, knowing this body is like foam, fully awake to its mirage-like nature, cutting off Mara's flowers, one goes unseen by the king of death. Briefly, the meaning of this verse is by understanding the nature of the body is like a foam and that it's akin to a mirage. One cuts off clinging and grasping to the 5 khandhas, the 5 aggregates and sensual desires, and therefore achieve the deathless state, nibbana, where no more karma is created. During Vesak and beyond, I hope to sincerely contemplate, reflect, and internalize on the true nature of the body, which is essentially like a foam, mirage-like. To understand that the 5 khandhas are not I, mine, or myself. To make more effort to observe and be aware of my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and so forth, and recognize if there is too excessive clinging and grasping to such thoughts and emotions, and upon noting that, to release the clinging and grasping. I also hope to constantly reflect on the true nature, the emptiness of the 5 aggregates, working towards reducing more and more the degree of grasping and personalization of self and all my experiences. Hence, not to take everything seriously. I have really enjoyed the classes with Bhante. have been able to learn and get more acquainted with the Pali language and early Buddhism. Bhante Dr. Chandima is a wonderful Dhamma coach. His manner of teaching makes the study of Dhamma alive, meaningful, and easy to understand. And his approach to the practice of Dhamma is really grounded in compassion. In compassion, as in he really understands lay people, our challenges in these modern times in our daily life. And I find that Bhante is able to guide me to have a more practical approach to the Dhamma and how to apply it to daily life. So thank you very much, Bhante. I like to wish Happy Vesak to everyone. And also, I really wish that may Bhante and all my brothers and sisters here, that may all their noble aspirations be fulfilled expeditiously and attain the highest bliss of Nibbana at the soonest opportunity. And Pauline will be speaking next. So we actually found out that they thought that's only one person, but during Bhante's last retreat in Buddhist Mahavihara, they were surprised to find out there's actually two people, Pauline and Maylin, in group 1. So thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu Maylin, and as you already mentioned, we'll invite Pauline next.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. And Suki Hotu to Bhante Chandima, Professor Premasiri, Cheryl, and all Kalyana Mitras here. Yes, I am Maylin's sister, so two different people, you're not the same. I'm her twin sister. So I've chosen Dhammapada 40 on Chitta. Kumbu pamang kaya mimang viditwa Nagarupa mang cita midang tapetwa Yodeta marang panya wudena Jitang rake anive sanosia. In English, knowing this body is like a clay pot, establishing this mind like a fortress, one should battle Mara with the sword of wisdom, protecting what has been won, clinging to nothing. The story, just briefly, the story is basically how Buddha introduced the beautiful Karanya Metta Sutta to 500 monks who were being disturbed by 3 devas. So I like the part about body like a clay pot because despite, knowing that, one day we will die and that life is impermanent and it's very fragile. So I think it's an important reflection and also a kind of peripheral understanding that I would like to keep in the back of my mind all the time to remind myself and to upright my perverted view that our hearts, the craving inside for the permanence and the eternal life, right? So Bhante also reminded however, we should not be pessimistic and negative and fall into a nihilism, right? So while we know, or we have to strive towards having that full understanding and realization that the body doesn't belong to us and that we actually have no real control over it, we still need to look after it because it's a very important vehicle for our practice. And I really love that Bhante always reminds us that, even though we understand old age, sickness and death, but we must aim not to grow old quickly, so remain young all the time. Then establishing this mind like a fortress. The mind needs to be diligently guarded like a city in ancient times. So remain unperturbed by all external disturbances. So we need to navigate whatever kilesas and akusalas with skillful means. And very interesting, I like to Bhante shared that one of the ways is actually to surround ourselves with Kalyana Mitras. and also to do more and more wholesome activities. Yeah. And also I hope to guard my mind more with more sense restraint, sila, uniso, manasikara. So, and Bhante reminded also that a Buddhist needs to be happy first to be able to walk the Noble Eightfold Path, right? Because one of the qualities of the Dhamma is akaliko, said the Dhamma is timeless and immediate results here and now. So we need to strive to be happy now, you know. As to Mara, well, Mara briefly, there are 4 manifestations of Mara. Mara of unwholesome emotions, Kilesa Mara, Mara of the 5 aggregates, Kanda Mara, Abhisankara Mara, the karmic formations, Mara of karmic formations, Deva Putra Mara, Mara of Devas, and Marana Mara, which is a Mara of death. And very quickly, the 10 enemies of Mara is sensual pleasures, discontent, hunger and thirst, craving, sloth and torpor, fear, doubt, conceit and ingratitude, gain, renown, honor, falsely received, and exaltation and disparaging, self-exaltation and disparaging others. So what is protecting what has been won and clinging to nothing? And very interesting, Bhante said the protection is by managing our energy. You know, it's, to me, it's quite a very new, quite revolutionary in the sense that people would say mindfulness and, you know, maybe sila and all that. But he says that if, for example, we are having an imbalanced low energy, that to retreat and take a break, because when we have low energy, then all the akusalas will come out. So I thought that was very special. So even if we are very low, sometimes just sitting down and meditate, we may get lower and lower in our depressive state. So we need how to play and to balance our energy. So I think it's very good. And also it seems like a paradox, right? You protect something and yet at the same time, you're not supposed to cling to anything. So the teachings of the Buddha to me is a paradox, but it's the best verbal explanation possible to navigate the middle path. To protect is not to reject, but at the same time not to cling and indulge. For me, I think the 4 lines are interconnected, and a summary of a good, very useful summary of what we must do to awaken. For me, is to correct my view of, you know, life, we like to feel secure, but must remember that actually there's no security anywhere. At the same time, not fall into depression and annihilation, yeah. To guard the mind diligently and to use right understanding, right effort, right mindfulness, and all that wisdom to counter Mara and his armies, which serves to help us to remain trapped in samsara. And what I hope moving forward is to truly understand and see from the heart the dangers of sensuality. That's my wish. And to always protect the progress made on the noble path so we don't backslide, and yet understand not to cling to anything. So if any nice experiences, sometimes even going through a nice retreat, then we're like, oh, you know, already achieved something or others. So must always know that the whole entire path is letting go, right? I've learned so much, new Pali words and concepts from Bhante. I love the word apamada, diligence. And then example, seka, learner, and aseka, enlightened person. And many interrelated teachings that Bhante will weave into each Dhammapada verse. It's very interesting. And then how he expands. You know, sometimes I'm like, Bhante, the verse says like this only, but Bhante will expand to many, many areas. Yeah, so it's very interesting. And then also from the stories that he shares, I begin to see that it's not black and white, and that, oh, that person is a good and bad person. It's not about morality. So a seemingly not good person can even become a Sotapanna after listening to the Buddha, right? And a seemingly bad person can in the end do a great benefit to the Buddhism. So it's about cause, condition, and effect. Life is not a linear thing. It's like, so must open up my mind and heart even more. And so Bhante is very compassionate, has empathy towards lay people like my sister has spoken. And because he has this vast and in-depth knowledge of the Dhamma, he's trying to share the Dhamma in accordance to early Buddhism for lay people, so that we do not have conflict in leading a lay life and while trying to balance our Dhamma practice. Whereas if we were to follow the teachings meant for the Sangha, then, you know, it will be difficult. So thank you, Bhante, for your Appamada and energy, which are all inspiring. And sadhu and happy Vesak, everyone. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
To Pauline. Next, we'll get Sister Po Chui, Wong Po Chui.
Thank you, Sister Chia. Good evening, Bhante, our distinguished guests, Professor Premasiri, and all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Thank you for the opportunity to share this Dhammapada verse today. I'll be reading Dhammapada verse 36, guard your thoughts. Sudu dasang suni punang yata kama nipatinang citang rakate medavi citang gutang sukavahang. This Dhammapada verse says that the mind is very difficult to perceive. The thought hard to see, very delicate and subtle. It moves and lands wherever it pleases. The wise one should guard his mind, and for a guarded thought brings happiness. This verse emphasizes on the importance of guarding and controlling the mind, which can be easily distracted and be a source of suffering if left uncontrolled and unguarded. The Dhamma teaching here advises individual to guard the mind, that is, being mindful, paying attention to our thoughts and emotions that arises from these thoughts. Otherwise, if allowed to wander aimlessly, it may lead to negative thoughts, negativity, stress, suffering, depression, craving for more thoughts, building up more stories, aversion, which are all sources of suffering. But when the mind is guarded and we are mindful, we can focus on positive and wholesome activities which bring happiness and well-being to us. This Dhamma teaching, I have a neighbor who just loved to throw food. She would buy fishes and throw the back lane. And when I see that, I'll be very upset and start thinking, and then from there build all kinds of stories, you know, which may occur or may not be true, or it may not happen. But the mind was just kind of so upset with her, upset with myself, get agitated. But she did not want to waste food, and she went out to buy things to compassion for stray cats, to feed the stray cats, you know, but of course they will attract other insects, rats and all that, you know. But if I guard my thoughts, protect my thoughts, then I would not get angry or upset, and I may come up with wholesome choices, solution on how to resolve the matter, and live happily in our daily life, you know. During these OPCR classes, Bhante teaches us the Dhammapada verses and the suttas, you know. You read the Dhammapada verses, we may have read all, or we have read the majority of it, but we cannot fully understand or remember everything, and we may not be able to put into practice or internalize it. But during the class, Bhante has given very clear explanation and teaching that help us to recollect and develop further the wholesome teachings and put into practice in our daily life wherever these verses are applicable. So sadhu, sadhu to Bhante, very grateful to Bhante for the teaching and the clear explanation and help us in our Dhamma journey. And I also thank all the brothers and sisters in the class for their sharings, and we learn from there.
Sadhu, Sister Pochi.
I would like to wish every Bhante, our distinguished guests, all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, happy Vesak. And may all of you be well, healthy, happy, and be safe wherever you are. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. So before I invite the next participants, just a gentle reminder to keep the sharing to 3 minutes because we do have an exciting lineup after the sharings as well. So Sister Subang.
Yeah, well, I'll keep that reminder in mind. Good evening, Bhante Chandima and Dhamma friends. And also good evening to our guests. Actually, for this visa, I picked up the verse 53, and it is titled "Do Much Good." Actually, it's a very simple calling to all Buddhists, and if I could say to everyone, do much good. And in the sharing that's given earlier, and also every weekly, Bhante himself is the one who is actually teaching us do good, in all the stanzas. So this particular stanza, verse 53, goes this way. Yatapi pupa rasimha kaira mala gune bahu. Evang jatena machena katabang kusalang bahu. So it means from a heap of flowers, we can make many a garland. But in this life, even so, many good deeds should be done by one subject to birth and death. So for me, I pick up this particular calling is because it's actually a very simple and a reminder to everyone to do good. And the do good will bring good fruits, and it will bring much merits. Every time we will hear this, so it's a very appropriate theme. And more importantly, in my life, it will bring happiness and peace of mind, because we all know, we experience actually that sometimes through our act of kindness, after doing, we will feel that happiness, having done good, and it will bring us that peace of mind. So this stanza also mentioned about this birth and death. So what does it mean? If I could relate it back to my own, what they call samsaric journey, it will remind me that the good deeds will help me, and it will give me a better rebirth, whether it's a human rebirth or others. And weekly, actually, Bhante reminds us that by doing good, this better rebirth could be that we could have good or supporting Kayana Mitras in the future. And then hopefully whatever that we have learned is with us, through this samsaric journey. So a very good analogy from this particular stanza is also about this heap of flowers, because it's the Pupavaga. From this heap of flowers, we can make many garlands. So actually in this lifetime, now, we can actually do a lot of act of kindness, starting from small, And for this particular visa, I sort of have this reminder to say that, cultivate good. And how? Maybe by helping others, in this particular Vesak day, Vesak occasion. And for this OPRC, of course, like everyone has mentioned earlier, I'd like to thank Bhante for the great opportunity to read again the Dhammapada census, because Bhante added so much in-depth and interesting explanation to the stanzas. Because when we read, we just read at that level, but he has given so much more meaning for me into this teaching, and it sort of guided me and reminds me about the teaching of the Buddhas. And in this particular verse, it's a story of Visakha, and she, as a lay disciple of the Buddha, she attained the first stage of sainthood. So hopefully that is the first step. Instead of going right to Nibbana, which is quite far away, at least this first stage of sainthood is my aspiration, and hopefully I can work it through this samsaric journey. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sister Subang and Satu. Next we'll have Stacy. And again, the gentle reminder to keep it within 3 minutes. We have a couple of people more as well.
Good evening, Bhante and Professor. But tonight I chose Dhammapada verse 7. So I'll let the chant. Supanupasing viharatang indriyesu asangutang bojanam hi cha amatanyum kusitang hina viriyang tang ve pasahati maro vatorukang vadupalang. Meaning, those who indulge in pleasant things, senses unrestrained, immoderate with food, lazy and sluggish, will be overpowered by Mara, as a weak tree is easily bent by the wind. This verse highlights that relying on sensory pleasures for happiness is futile due to their impermanent nature. Such pursuit is obstruction to true and lasting happiness. It only deviates us from spiritual growth. This verse reminds me to be diligent in restraining my senses during my waking hours and be mindful when bombarded with worldly things online and offline. Such is mentioned in the Sangiti Sutta of Dikka Nikaya, that those with unrestrained senses, bad and skillful qualities of covetousness and displeasure would become overwhelming. Therefore, before our senses are overwhelmed by unwholesome qualities, we should train and limit our senses just enough to enjoy present life in harmony with people around us. At the same time, greed, hate, and delusion and displeasure internally and externally are kept to the minimum. I'm grateful for the weekly classes and meditation sessions conducted by Bhante Dr. Chandima. He has inspired me to deepen my understanding of the Pali language and practical ways to interpret the Buddha's Dhamma that suits my current lifestyle. Thank you, Bhante Dr. Chandima, Professor Premasiri, and Sukihotu to all Kaliametas. Happy Vesak and Terawan Saranai.
Good. Next we'll have Sister Yap Mi Yuan.
Okay, good evening, Bhante and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today I will recite verse 60. Tiga jagaraturati tikang sangtasayo janang tigo paranang samsaro satamang avijanatang. Long is the night for the wakeful, long is the journey for the weary, long is samsara for the foolish who do not comprehend the true Dhamma. This verse illustrates how time feels endless for those who suffer. Sleeplessness makes a single night feel eternal. Fatigue makes a short distance seem endless. And ignorance makes the cycle of rebirth, samsara, appear never-ending. Studying this verse reminds me of the importance of diligent practice. I must continue to ask myself, do I wish to remain trapped in this wheel of life? How long will I continue to endure this endless suffering? To free myself from the cycle of rebirth, I must steadfastly follow the Noble Eightfold Path until Nibbana is attained. Through joining the online reading class, I have explored many suttas previously unknown to me. This journey has deepened my understanding and strengthened my confidence in the Triple Gem. Moving forward, I aim to apply this teaching in practice. Lastly, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Bhante Chandima for his skillful guidance. His support has been instrumental in my progress on the Dhamma path. Last, I sadhu, sadhu, and happy Vesak to all. Thank you.
Thank you, and Satu, Sister Mian. We will have Tek Cheng next.
Thank you, Sister Chia. Katanya Tanya Vandami Bhante, Cheravena Vandami Bhante, Pemachitena Vandami Bhante. Good evening, distinguished guests and brother and sister. Suki Hontu. Today I chose the Dhammapada verse number 8. Let me chant the in Pali first. Asubana nupasim viharantang indriyesu susabuntang bojang ahi cha matang nom sadang arada biriyang tamve napa so sahati maro Vato senang wa habatang. The English means, well, whoever focus on the unpleasant, senses guided, moderate with food, confident and diligent, will not be overpowered by Mara. As a stone mountain is unmoved by the wind. So from this verse, after the explanation from Bhante, I chose this is one of the reasons is because after I understand Bhante's teaching, I find that it is very important to understand and practice. So that's the reason one of the reasons I chose. My reflection is the first thing is about this senses guided. This is how I reflect it. Precious means stimulating the five senses. If we see beautiful things or with eyes or listen to pleasant music, that is pleasure. Same as the pleasure of smell, tasty food, or even pleasure, touch or pleasure things. But if we go after pleasures, we become unhappy. That's what the Buddha pointed out. Because of pleasures is impermanent. All pleasures are impermanent when we part from the pleasure. We become unhappy. So more we get addicted to pleasures, pains become more and more unpleasant. So we cannot bear pains, so we cannot tolerate pains. If we begins to desire pleasure all the time. So come to the next one about the moderate with food and the confidence and diligence. I extracted a verse from this Dhammapada Sutta, SN 3.13. When a man is always mindful, knowing moderation in eating, his discomfort faded, and he ages slowly. Take care of his life. So, so this one make me really understand about we have to be, if we want to practice, first of all, following the Dhamma, first of all is we have to be confident in Buddha's teaching and also be diligent. So this is what I'm actually practicing also. So thank you, Bhante, for your teaching. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, Brother Teck Cheng. We will have our final presenter, Hema.
Thank you, Sukihotu Bhante, and also to Sukihotu, to Professor Premasiri, and all the brothers and sisters in Dhamma. Well, today my the verse that I've chosen is from this chapter 2, Dhammapada Vaga, Heedfulness, and it's verse 31. Okay, the heedful at once. Dhammapada roto biku. Pamade bayada siwa sanya janam anubetulam daham akiwa gachati. Well, in English, it means the bhikkhu who delights in heedfulness and looks with fear on heedlessness advances like fire, burning all feathers, great and small. So, in fact, this one really, it really, I think it inspired me because of the story. The simile is the fire of knowledge. And that is about a bhikkhu who has learned meditation from Buddha and went to the forest. He didn't progress, and he was depressed, and he wanted to see the Buddha and get more advice. And along the way up, he saw fire is spreading in the mountain. He went to the top and he see it. And when he see the fire is spreading and burning almost, completely, the insight came. It came in such a way whereby, insight came that the fire has taught him to really, is like burning off all your feathers, big and small. So this is where he got the insight, and the insight came, and Buddha came in his appear to him and say a very nice word that I really like. He said, "You are on the right line of thought. Keep it up. Even as fire consume all obstacles, both great and small, bhikkhu who delights in heedfulness and who wills heedlessness with fear, consume all feathers, both great and small." And this bhikkhu attained Arahant later. So I was so impressed and I like it. And what I like about this is because it led me to understand what is really the feathers they are talking. So the feathers is the the 4 stages of sainthood. And I have been wanting to know more in depth. And I'm grateful to Bhante having teach me more in depth, especially this verse is really don't delay your cultivation, don't delay the practice. And the 10th feather to be a Sotapanna is number 1, to be a Sotapanna, I have to eradicate self-illusion. Sakaya Ditti, I have to delete doubts, number 2, and I have to delete indulgence in rites and ceremony. So lots of homework to be a Sotapanna and to eradicate all this. So to be a Sakadagami, have to delete and eradicate the sense desire, kama raga, and the hatred. So these are the 5 lower feathers where, I should be eradicating, but it will be a long journey, whether this lifetime or future, but the knowledge is important. Then come to be an anagami. In the 3rd stage, I have to learn to do attachment to the realms of form, to get rid of that, and also the formless. Finally, to be like the bhikkhu as a Arahant, the last 3 is the conceit, restlessness, and ignorance. I'm so grateful with this learning, and I am definitely very grateful to the teaching of the Buddha. And this is the thing is, these words really remind me
that definitely I have to put extra effort like the fire, advance like the fire, like what the words say, and burn all feathers, great and small, as I walk in the Noble Eightfold Path. And it is an aspiration. So I really hope, you know, each and every one of us will get this little sharing that I have. And Bhante, I'm very grateful to you, Bhante Dr. Chandima, because you have been a great teacher who has taught much more in depth and explained much more in depth. So I am very grateful for that. And also to all the brothers and sisters, we are here together for a good reason, and all of us are growing in our own way. But I thank everybody for being here for each other, and especially Bhante's, your patience, and the great knowledge and the in-depth teaching of the Dhamma and Sutta teaching and the words. I'm very thankful, and let us all rejoice this Vesak Day, which I'm really looking forward. It's a beautiful occasion of Buddha, 3 special days, occasion happen. So let me wish all a happy Vesak Day, and to Bhante, to Professor too, and also all of us rejoice this coming event on coming Monday and or the pre-event. And I really thank you all. And deeply from my heart, thank you, Bhante, for everything. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu Anumodana with all 23 presenters for your effort, learning, and sharing. So now I will invite Bhante to conclude the ceremony for today.
Thank you, Shen, and thank you everybody who presented. I was earlier thinking to give an announcement about starting a chanting group. Now I feel that perhaps we can bring them to a Dhamma talk, Dhamma talk group, because I heard that many of you can share Dhamma. I don't know whether you may have witnessed that before. You think that you go and listen to a Dhamma talk, but you have your Dhamma within you. You can share. Earlier, you were a little bit, maybe kind of stressed out a little bit. How I'm going to give a Dhamma talk in a way, like in a few minutes, but you can do it. The reason, before I introduce our professor to the discussion, is that the Buddha said the highest dana is the dana of Dhamma. Sabba danang Dhamma danang jinati. So, in light of Vesak, you brought that Dhamma dana. So that means we have done the best, highest done. So keep it up. That means time to time, share your Dhamma with somebody. If possible, give a Dhamma talk in your places. Maybe that can develop your real, inner thoughts. Okay, thanking everyone. I would like to introduce our professor, Professor P.D. Premasiri. Professor P.D. Premasiri, to my understanding, as far as many of us in the academia, especially Sri Lanka and beyond, I was not in Sri Lankan academia for almost 15 years now, but before I left Sri Lanka, and even now, he is the most deserved, highly respected academician about Buddhist studies. He is not my teacher, he's my teacher's teacher's teacher. So he's in 80s, and let me tell you, he is the president of the Buddhist Publication Society in Kandy at the moment. At the same time, he started his Bachelor's of Arts Studies in 1959, and he got a Bachelor's of Arts in Philosophy at Peradeniya University in Kandy, and then he proceeded to Cambridge University, where he earned another undergrad degree in philosophy. And after that, under very much eminent scholars, such as the famous British philosopher Bernard Williams and many others, he was able to receive his master's degree. And then he came back in 1972 to Peradeniya University in Sri Lanka, and he was teaching. And in 1977, he proceeded to the US to study philosophy for a PhD under one of the very famous Sri Lankan philosopher, David Kalpahan in Hawaii. And he pursued his PhD in philosophy at University of Hawaii, Manoa. And then he, after getting his PhD, he came back to Sri Lanka, and then he was engaging in many different teaching careers and all that. Also, in addition to teaching in Peradeniya University in Sri Lanka, he was a lecturer professor at Washington State University, Pullman, Washington State, Colgate University, Hamilton, New York, and lately he was the director of academic affairs at SIBA, Sri Lankan International Buddhist Academy in Kandy. So I'm kind of asking forgiveness for him to be baited for some time, and I wanted to ask him, and he saw all the progress that you've been showing. Maybe I can ask him to review what he perceived from you, and then to give us an encouragement, advices. To better your skills and all that. Dear Professor Premasiri, audience is yours. Would you mind unmuting your mic, please?
Is it okay now? Can you hear?
Yes, please.
Right.
We hope like perhaps 10 minutes maximum.
Okay.
Guidance and then yes, thank you.
Yeah. So first of all, I must thank Bhante Chandima for giving me this opportunity to listen to this student group and group of practitioners. And I believe all of them are from Malaysia, is it?
Most of them. Some are from Singapore,
most
some
of them.
from the UK. Yes.
Okay. So from several countries. Anyway, I was very much impressed by the understanding of Dhamma. And I believe the Dhammapada is a text which gives the essence of the Dhamma in just a few verses. So I think for anyone who wants to have a kind of quick overview of the Dhamma, I believe the Dhammapada is the most resourceful text that one could go into. And I'm so happy that those who made the presentations today, they were conversant with at least some verses of the Dhammapada, and they were able to give the English meaning of the verses selected, and those meanings were very accurate, and I am grateful to Venerable Chandima for instructing you in such a way that you have acquired this degree of understanding of the Dhamma. I remember teaching in a Malaysian institute called the Thang Siang Institute. I think it's in the northern part of Malaysia. And Venerable Wei Wu was in charge of that institute. And that was a very profitable time that I spent having interaction with a group of Malaysian students. So I believe that Buddhism is not a religion based entirely on faith. Well, faith plays a role in the teaching, but it gives very much importance to independent inquiry, to reflective thinking, and I believe the term panya itself gives the meaning understanding something, having reflected upon, having deeply reflected upon the matter. So Buddhism emphasizes a gradual path, which actually is based on an understanding of how an individual can progress on a journey to liberation of the mind based on understanding the causal sequence that leads one to the goal. So Buddhism emphasizes the significance of basing oneself, first of all, on eliminating the roughness of our conduct and character. That is why Buddhism places Sila as the starting point of the journey. As the Mahaparinibbana Sutta says, Sila paribhavito samadhi mahapalo hoti mahanisanso. The samadhi, or the mental training, the composure, the concentration that we cultivate becomes very fruitful and very beneficial when it is based on ethical practice, an initial ethical practice. Actually, one could say that ethics, the perfection in the ethical life, can be said to be the ultimate goal as well as the starting point. So you start with ethics, preliminary ethical practices, and then you actually perfect it until you reach full blamelessness. Full blamelessness. So you culminate in the attainment of freedom from moral corruption. So Nibbana is nothing but freedom from corruption. And I believe that Nibbana can be attained in several stages. And that is why I think in Buddhism, there are these different stages mentioned, like Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and the final stage of Arahatship. So what we expect in attaining Nibbana is getting rid of the unpleasantness that we experience, the suffering, the feeling of unsatisfactoriness that we experience every moment. As it is said, all ordinary humans are like insane beings. They have insanity to some extent. So what we are trying to do is to remove this insanity stage by stage. And I believe in our journey in the Buddhist path, we can actually reach a certain percentage of this sanity if we put forth effort in order to do that. So in stages, maybe at the very early stage, you might achieve about 5%, 10%. So like that, you increase the percentage until you reach 100%. And when you reach 100% sanity, it means you have attained Nibbana. And we hopefully, we should be able to reach at least 25 to 50% in this life if we are unable to reach the 100% level. So I call upon every one of you who have done a very impressive session today, presenting your knowledge of the Dhammapada. And I hope you will be able to eventually go into the more complex teachings that are found in the Pali canonical sources, like the Digha Nikaya, the Majjhima Nikaya. And I think it is the sutta sources that you have to make use of if you want to have a very firm grasp of the Buddhist teaching and the path leading to the Buddhist goal. There is no other way. I believe the most enlightening teachings are found in the suttas, although the Abhidhamma tries to sort of classify them and intellectually analyze them. What can be understood at the common sense level, at the level of understanding that we ordinary persons have, I think that is found in the Sutta tradition. So I call upon every one of you to go beyond your study of the Dhammapada and get into a serious study of mainly the suttas found in at least the first 4 collections, and if possible, go into some of the texts of the 5th collection as well. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to participate in this event. I was impressed by your performance, and congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Emeritus Professor Premasiri. I think you culminated, you brought all the Buddhism into this 8-9 minutes of thought, and then you were giving us the encouragement, and we have to go beyond Dhammapada. Yes, that is the ideal plan one day. So we are now actually we are slowly, gradually making that percentage aspect, and one day we will be there. We're going back to Majjhima Nikaya and all that. Thank you very much, Professor Premasiri. I think giving us time. I know your car was broke today, and you were maybe in the car. I hope that you'll be able to make it soon. And you picked up my phone call all of a sudden for that. Thank you very much. So before we wrap this up, I wanted to tell you the idea of a chanting group. Actually, chanting group is not a different one. Our same group, our OPRC group, those who presented today, those who could not present, those who just observed, participated, we are going to we are going to introduce our Pali reading every Thursday in that group. So, I mean, let's say we are chants by group all the time. That means every Thursday what we are doing. But time to time, I understand there are certain events that are being happening. Say, for instance, I know there are some events happening that are expecting that are expected from certain chanting groups. So perhaps we might consider if we can attend that kind of a chanting thing virtually, perhaps. Let's say metta chanting. Let's say another chanting. Let's say we make our own chanting one day. Maybe a particular chanting for an event. So at that point, we will perhaps come out of this OPRC class time. In addition to OPRC class, we will take part. So I will put out a message in the group. So that is how we're going to do. Okay, so with that, I wanted to be thankful once again to Emeritus Professor P.D. Premasiri, and very thankful, very insightful for everything. I learn every bit of your words all the time. Philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, ethics, and everything. Encouragement. We have done 2 discussions on YouTube a long time ago. I think we done about veracity, epistemology, and what do you call epistemology in Buddhism. And the other one was about sila some time ago. And you were talking about ethical sila and ethically neutral sila, ethically positive sila. So perhaps we can you can learn all that too. And also I'm thankful to Miss Cheryl for taking up this all of a sudden. I was initially contacting Sister Hui Min from Penang, and then she was going to US at this time. So thankful to everybody, and also thankful to all of you. I know that it was short in time, like in 2-3 days, all this happened. This is Anicca as well. So you learn how to be a little bit techy in making this and getting ready. Now I think you can think about how to do some Dhammadana, maybe writing a small booklet, an article, share. Yes, we do respect Sangha members. Why don't you share your own Dhamma learning, your own ways of practically absorbing Dhamma in your lay life? So I think today's perspective that we've been cultivating could go into these areas. We can navigate those areas too. We initially started as a Pali reading class, then it became a chanting class in a way, and then more importantly, we studied literal meaning and contextual meaning, and some others I know like very much about stories, Dhammapada stories, narratives. We all put them together, but now chanting, reflection, and some short Dhamma sharings. I hope that this could be a good thing to carry on every, maybe Vesak day. So next year, I think you can just summon up your courage about doing this kind of a thing. So next year we will try another one. We'll see how things go, and then you can get ready earlier. So what am I going to share by that time? Maybe we might be doing more Dhammapada verses by that time. So keeping all that in time, I wanted to once again to be grateful, thankful to everyone. And I think this is a very good, initiative to get into our Vesak season. Although Vesak is in the corner with the Mother's Day coming up. May all the teachings that we've been making public today, online, through our classes, be a true respect to the Buddha. According to Mahaparinibbana Sutta, as we understand, the best offering to the Buddha is to follow what he taught while we are keeping up with the faith practice, saddha practice. So this is very important. So now we are going into the transference of merits part. May all the good karmas we've been making today be transferred to all the departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. May Deva Naga Mahindika receive all these good karmas. May they protect and bless all of us. In particular, our dear professor who would make time for us. May you live long. May you spread your intellectual Dhamma all the time. We have nowadays some problems in understanding, going into the true Dhamma teachings, and encouragements, guidance of your books, your sharings, they are very important. And I was also impressed and influenced by these teachings. And these students are getting benefit out of it because of people like you and many other scholars who were at that time in Sri Lanka. Many of them have already passed away. So we're going to keep the legacy going on. May the Deva Naga Mahindika protect you, bless you for spreading intellectual, academic, and practical Buddhism. At the same time, may they protect and bless all of us, our participants, students, your family members, even your grandkids. May all you be protected and blessed by Deva Naga Mahindika. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummattha deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang. Akasattha cha bhummattha deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Desanang Akasattha Cha Bhummattha Devanaga Mahittika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Mang Parang Chirang Rakhantu Tvang Sadati. As you know, any of these events are not going to be possible if we are not surrounded by Kalyana Mittas like you, like many others, like our professor. So may we be able to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas continuously, perpetually. May we also become Kalyana Mittas to as many people as we meet in our life till we attain Nibbana. Thinking thus, we're going to make this beautiful, noble wish. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanibbana patya. Finally,